Got it. Good morning. Welcome to Creative Living Fellowship Sunday morning meditation. Thank you. My name is Peter Waring, practitioner at Creative Living Fellowship, and I invite you to spend the next 20 minutes with me in meditation. So let's begin by closing our eyes and taking a few moments to go within and create that sense of being within your body, quieting the mind, and setting an intention that we are now taking a few minutes to have a visit with God. So let's take a moment to gently bring ourselves back to the present moment. Take a deep breath. Let it out. And be grateful for the moment that we had, the time we had with God. So thank you for joining us for our meditation, and our service will begin in a few minutes.
online Sunday service. Please join us in our opening song, Use Me.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I'm saying is, command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Light, God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Sherman. I'm a licensed practitioner here at Creative Living Fellowship. Our senior minister, Reverend Dr. Sherry F. McCreary, has the day off, and we will welcome her back here with us next Sunday. I am delighted to serve as your Sunday service host and to welcome you today, this morning, to our online Sunday service. Creative Living Fellowship is an independent religious science church and teaching center. And we welcome all paths that lead to truth. Our deep intention here is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and practices of the science of mind. One of those practices is holding the high watch. And this morning, practitioners Reverend Joyce Buchers and Rhonda Emmerich are holding high watch for us this morning. This means that they are sitting in meditation, prayerful contemplation, holding a space for us as we move through our service. So thank you, Reverend Joyce. Thank you, Rhonda, for your sacred service this morning. And a shout out to practitioner Pete Waring. Thank you, Pete, for that awesome pre-service meditation. Our Sunday service team members who make this online service possible are Nicole Jordan. She's our Sunday service director. And Nicole has double duty as she and Dev Covington also serve as our AV team. Our tech support today is practitioner Fran Peck. Thank you, every one of you for your service this morning. Nicole tripled service this morning. Will be bringing us the announcements soon. After the announcements, there's going to be a brief gong wash. Following the gong wash, a few moments of silence, and then practitioner Jeannie Sovereigns will bring us the reading and our evocation. But first, here's Nicole with our announcements.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. It is my pleasure to be here today to do all the things that I do. And as the AV person, I'll also take responsibility for that little blip during the song. That was me, I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and move ahead and do our announcements. Meditation is a great mindfulness practice that helps us to be present in the now. Why not join us for midday meditation throughout the week to start or support your meditation practice? Midday meditation is at noon, Monday through Friday. We also have a 20-minute pre-service meditation on Sundays at 9:35 a.m. Join us for any of these meditations through our Facebook and YouTube live streams or in Zoom. Speaking of spiritual practices, join Reverend Jorge every Monday evening and dive deep into the heart of practicing science of mind principles. Say yes to this weekly invitation to apply Sunday messages and lessons to your day-to-day life. Using the practices of contemplation, prayer, and introspection, open up to see beyond your boundaries, self-interest, and transform your consciousness. You can participate in Monday practice with Reverend Jorge through our Facebook and YouTube live streams at 6:30 p.m. Stay connected and supported with your CLF family and join Reverend Sherry every Tuesday as she hosts Community Care Connection Zoom meeting at 6:30 p.m. This week, Reverend Sherry will be leading us in life's purpose visioning. This is a powerful process that reveals more the more you do it. Visioning is a spiritual practice that aligns you to possibilities for your life. Join us this Tuesday and open up, surrender, and catch God's vision for your life. We look forward to seeing you then. This Friday, October 1st at 6:30 p.m. is Quantum Chair Yoga guided by Reverend Christopher. Quantum Chair Yoga is a lively, soothing, interactive practice of memory-enhancing activities. It includes movement with breath, posture, and even fun-to-speak syllables in song. It produces new neural networks and leaves you feeling at peace. No experience necessary. The Ernest Holmes book study is underway with Ernest Holmes' Know Yourself, and you are, let me try that again. With his book, Know Yourself, You Are More Than You Think. Just what are we? What is the source of our existence? What is the nature of that thing called thought? These three great enigmas have always faced us, and our whole life is colored and controlled by the way we answer these questions. Read the first 6 chapters and join facilitator Reverend Mary Jane Hyde on Saturdays for heartfelt discussion. Know Yourself, You Are More Than You Think is available in digital format from Science of Mind archives for $8. Remember, you can use your smartphone to text to give and make your contributions to CLF. Simply text the amount you'd like to give to 602-610-1868. And if it's your first time donating by text, you'll be sent a link to set up your account. And after that, it's as easy as texting the amount you'd like to tithe to 602-610-1868. Our Sunday prayer room is available to you after service today. Get your after service prayer with a practitioner by heading on over to Zoom using the link provided in the comments. Prayer room participants are transferred into a breakout session or breakout room for a private session with one of our licensed practitioners. And after service, we have Sunday fellowship too. Join us in Zoom and hang out, discuss the service, what's on your mind or heart, and connect with your CLF family. If you're in Zoom with us now, all you need to do is stay here. If you're not, then join us at the end of service. And links can be found in the comments or on our website under events, under our Facebook events, or in your weekly newsletter. This goes for all of our other events as well. That's it for today's announcements. It is now time to move on to our gong wash, followed by a moment of silence.
Good morning. Today's reading is from The Abundance Vibration, A Guide to Alignment, Day 16. And what we have been teaching is the simplicity of allowing your genius to solve your suffering. Allowing that which put you here, that which has organized the very essence of life, allowing that power, great power, to solve it for you. So aligning centering spiritual practices that help you commune with that which is true, that which is real, and that which has an effect and is the cause. That is how you end and let go of the suffering and move beyond the suffering. You receive even greater good. So in this space, in this moment, in this now, beyond the suffering, where there is the great source of all, the energy that is, the one power, one source, one heartbeat, one breath that is, that I am, that all within the sound of my voice are. I, Jeannie, speak my word for the highest and best of this day, this moment, this service, for each and every person within the sound of my voice and beyond, knowing they receive just that, what they need today, knowing and affirming that they are moving beyond the suffering, that they are blessed in the abundance that is our great life. This beautiful aspect that is our life, our breath, our heartbeat right here, right now. And for this, I am so very grateful. I send blessings on each and every person, each and every world leader, each and every teacher of all faiths everywhere, knowing that there is only one. And with this breath, knowing that we are blessed beyond compare. I give great thanks, and I release this word, calling it good. And in this moment together we say, and so it is.
It is now my pleasure to introduce not only our musical inspiration this morning, but our guest speaker, John Stringer. John is a life teacher, a speaker, a Billboard-charting singer-songwriter, a healer, and an author with a passion for music, community, expansion, and limitless love and light. He has released music that has taken him around the world, sharing and performing in 13 different countries. Today, John leads retreats, workshops. He speaks and performs, supporting two of his CDs, Limitless Love and Light and Moment to Moment, and also supports his book, The Abundance Vibration, A Guide to Enlightenment. And the reading today that practitioner Jeannie Sovereigns provided us came from John's book, The Abundance Vibration, A Guide to Enlightenment, Alignment. Please join me in welcoming John Stringer.
Hello, Creative Living Fellowship. Good to be with you. I want to start right away with a song I like to explain as higher consciousness speaking to us. Here I am. I've heard that you've been looking for me. think that's kind of funny. And here I am, waiting for you to listen for me now. I can wait just as long as it takes, because everything is already here right now, right now. Holy instant, holy moment. Holy instant, holy moment. Oh, 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 oh. You've seen your peaks, you've seen the veil removed, yet you know that you love to suffer until you're ready for some higher good. Yes, all good, as we say, it's all good, 'cause I made it that way. The essence is eternal, an extension of myself. Holy instant, holy moment. Oh, oh. Holy instant, holy moment. Oh, 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 oh. Your creation of form is something else, beauty but not real. So don't get caught in how you feel when you see something go down that you don't like. Remember, there's no wrong and there's no right. Holy instant, holy moment. Oh, holy instant, holy moment. And I will lead you home. And don't be afraid to speak to me. And ask whatever you may need. And don't be afraid to let it go. Ask whatever you need to know. Holy instant, holy moment. And I will lead you home. Oh yeah. Holy instant, holy moment. And I will lead you home. Holy, 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 Can you sing that with me? It goes Om, holy, holy, like the Om symbol. Om, holy, holy. Om, holy, holy. again. Come on. Om holy, holy. Om holy, holy. Om holy, holy. Om holy. And end with Om. Om. Excellent. And thank you so much. So, the message is a reminder that there are several aspects to growth we forget. Discomfort, for example, is a common aspect we begin to notice and appreciate when we are spiritually growing. It's the same ability to master discipline and achieve a goal that requires us to expand beyond our current limitations, which is the same determination required to master breaking free of our limited conditioned thinking. The difference is we are surrendering versus pushing. We are ascending versus breaking. We're opening versus breaking down. When we find ourselves in a moment of growth, an opportunity for expansion, there is in the consciousness side of things a progression very similar to what we see in nature, for example, growing, or the first example, working out and getting stronger. In those physical components, think about planting a seed. The seed has the very blueprint of everything that it needs to establish something new, to grow. And when we put it in the right environment and plant that seed in soil that has the right nutrients and water it and give it access to everything in the external environment that assists it in breaking down, it begins to go through a process of change. And that breaking down leads to the growth, to experience something that expands beyond what it appeared as before, but it uses the very nutrients of the dirt, the darkness, and everything around it to expand, to grow, and bring in the light, to receive its nourishment from all the water, soil. So, this is a simple analogy that we can look at and see our own spiritual growth. How growing in our own experience is similar in that when we are emerging from limitation, we have everything within our soul's blueprint to expand into the roles that the designer, what I like to reference as source, intends to experience, do, and be as us. And that will is one of complete freedom to experience the choices we make and to step into the roles we have decided prior to embodying the physical seed to expand into, or we can refuse to expand. We're given that opportunity. What's beautiful is as we go through life's wonderful ingredients, we're given that opportunity to break down, if you will, but instead of breaking down, we open. Life will often bring us situations to open us up, to expand to something new. You can think in your own life of times where you have gone through excruciating pain, sorrow, the appearance of loss, grief. And in that opportunity, we get to choose whether to open up to some greater power and access that so we might find a way to transcend suffering, or we spiral down and learn from more suffering. As the song I just played speaks to, it says, "You've seen your peaks, you've seen the veil removed, yet you know that you love to suffer until you're ready for some higher good." One lesson we get to experience through this wonderful journey of life is that suffering is a noble teacher when we are willing to see it from a higher perspective. How could that be, right? Suffering. It's a side of growth that we can often dismiss and judge and resist, which causes more suffering. If everything is for us, how is suffering for us? First and foremost, suffering is an illusion we create through our own resistance and judgment. What is. Whether it's pain, whether it's whatever sensation, information, circumstance, etc., what is. Even pain, yes. Suffering is what we create based on that information, how we interact with it. That resistance, that, oh, I can't take this, I refuse to go through that, I don't want this, resisting what is creates the suffering. And that suffering leads us to an expanded experience of what is it like to choose this? How is that for us? First and foremost, we get to experiment. Think of ourselves as amazing consciousness scientists in a lab of life, experimenting with how we choose to undergo whatever experience arises. Pain, for example, acute pain, and we find ourselves resisting. But when we open up and surrender to it, we can access a greater power, a subtler power that allows us to transcend the suffering. The autobiography of a yogi, for example, talks about how Gandhi was being operated on, and the author was witnessing Gandhi being cut open without any anesthesia, sipping tea. I personally had, story I've told many times, a broken ankle where I was in more pain than I've ever experienced. My wife has a great video of it to remind me. It looked like I was having birthing a child or something. But the intensity of it was so much that I cried out for help. I meditated, and I finally just began to align and allow and be present and let that spirit, that knowing, that source flow through me and speak through me. And I transcended the pain, the suffering rather. The pain was there, but the suffering was gone, just vanished for about a half an hour. It was a profound experience that showed me we are able to do the very things that the ascended ones and the ones we look at as masters can do. And often suffering can help us do it. How else is suffering for us? Suffering not only teaches us what it feels like to experience this, but suffering increases our desire to awaken and transcend suffering. How so? We choose suffering because subconsciously We love to suffer. That's what I hear when I tune into that knowing that we choose to come back and go through these cycles of suffering because we love it. My wife and I were talking about The Matrix and that wonderful scene I've often referenced of the gentleman eating the steak and saying, I know it's not real, but it feels so good. He'd rather be disconnected in the illusion than in reality growing and experiencing the discomfort. Suffering allows us to increase that desire to overcome suffering, because each time we suffer, we are gaining the experience until that suffering is enough to build that desire to awaken so that it eclipses the love of suffering. Great example is banging our head. We bang our head against the wall. We're upset. We keep banging our head. Increasingly, the pain grows till we either damage a nerve, pass out, or have had enough. I liken it unto that. Repetitive suffering gets to the point where Chinese water torture, it's so much that we're ready to break free. That's a valuable, noble teaching lesson. And when we choose these ways of suffering over and over again, we get to experience and become aware. I remember choosing self-sabotage, suffering, and toxic thinking for so long in my life. It wasn't until I was an adult that I finally began, in my late 30s, I guess, that I became aware and began to change and shift and notice that the challenge was my thinking. If I could change that, I could become something more. That evolved to realize if I could become aware of how I am choosing at the level of meaning in my life and creating meaning and past meaning I have absorbed by way of beliefs and limited conditioned ways of thinking. If I could become aware of those, I could remove those limited conditioned ways of thinking, remove those blocks, those traumas, those conclusions about life and myself that were causing the suffering. And I could begin to heal and experience a new zest and joy for life. This week, I had another powerful healing moment of being supported by my wife and finally facing something from my childhood that felt like a wound that I never wanted to look at. And all through my young adulthood and on, I had refused and been unwilling. And as I've done this work and found practices that assist me in aligning with the source of who I am, I begin to experience that subtle level of suffering more and more. See, on our journey, when we use practices that help us expand our consciousness, grow, expand our awareness into higher levels of consciousness, we begin to become aware of those levels of suffering in the subtle energies and begin to understand what we're creating in our experience, begin to recognize it more, and begin to look for ways to let go of the suffering, to opt out. The suffering is not necessary. It's a noble teacher, but it's optional rather. It's necessary if you're choosing it, unnecessary if you're ready to opt out. So everything is optional, whether you choose to align or you choose to continue the suffering. When it comes to growth, embracing the discomfort of letting go of that love for suffering and beginning to discipline ourselves to focus on aligning with the source of who we are. So we hear that still small voice, we expand our awareness, we begin to clarify a higher level of intention that comes from the I am that I am. The will of the divine. We begin to hear that and we begin to say yes instead of resisting and suppressing. We begin to experience emotions we don't necessarily want to feel, that are trapped in the energy field, ready to be released and unblocked. It's not comfortable, but it is liberating. Sometimes I wished that growth spiritually and physically and financially and all that were just super easy. Now, I've realized it doesn't happen that way all the time. We can still experience ease even through what's not easy. But it is simple. Cultivating that reliance on that higher intelligence, the divine that knows the plans it has for us, knows what is best and highest in any moment for us to be, and seeking to expand our experience of bliss, joy, fulfillment, and even achievement. Starting within and experiencing a spreading without. Finding that path for those who choose it is a way to integrate the messiness of growth, integrate the discomfort of growth, integrate the opening up of growth, the ascension of growth, and all the parts we may have forgotten. The invitation is simple. Find the practices that work for you to assist you in aligning with the source of who you are from moment to moment, that you might begin to expand to new levels of growth, new levels of remembering, new levels of expansion and fulfillment. This is the abundance that is your birthright. So it is.
And so it is. Thank you, John, for those words of inspiration and for allowing us another opportunity for deeper expansion, awareness, and alignment. Let's take these words of power that John gave us this morning into prayer. And so I turn to the truth. I turn to the one that is waiting to be recognized, waiting to fulfill intentions, desires, waiting to bless and nurture even deeper in a more expansive way, waiting to be called upon. That power, that source, ever present, resides everywhere, is being expressed through everything, is the only one, is life, is the only life. It's my life. Source, that power, that presence, feeds me, nourishes me, nurtures me, guides me, protects me. And when I allow it to do so, expands me. And so I speak my word for myself and for everyone here in this service and beyond. I accept the allowance, the invitation for God, for source, for the one to feed me, protect me, and guide me. As I do my work, as I do my daily spiritual practices, I know that I am in greater alignment with this truth. And I know I am well cared for, and all is well in my life. And I know that is the truth for everyone else. And so I affirm and claim that this practice expands for all sentient beings on this planet, for everyone here at Creative Living Fellowship. Greater good is at hand, aligning with the truth. I accept and I know that suffering has been released, and acceptance of our divineness, of our divine beingness, of our holiness rests within our hearts and in our minds. And knowing this truth, knowing that what I've spoken is the truth, and knowing that this prayer has already been answered in the one mind, that the law of the divine has said, yes, 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 my beloved. So grateful for a shift in consciousness occurring on this planet Earth. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Behold, the old has passed away. New light, new joy, new life is being lived and experienced right here and right now. And so I release my word, knowing it's been heard, knowing it's been manifested, with confidence and with acceptance and humbleness. I say, thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Thank you, Carrie, for that beautifully powerful prayer. Yes. This is the time we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and our offerings. CLF is a tithing church, and we invite you to join us in this sacred practice by tithing here at CLF. Click the donate link on our website or in the comments in Zoom or on Facebook. You can also use your smartphone to text to give. We appreciate your continued financial support of CLF. Let us now repeat our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God, and so it is. And here again is John Stringer with our offering music.
This gonna be the day that changes everything, the day that it all aligns. This gonna be the time we'll remember all the light we've got inside. Together as one, facing the darkness, take a stand for love. We're gonna let it shine, alright. Let's light it up, light up the night and let it shine. You and I, oh no, no, gonna let it shine, alright. You've got the love, you've got the light and let it shine. You and I, we're gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, we're gonna let it shine. Alright, this gonna be the moment when joy comes shining through in love. Yes, it overcomes the night. Oh, this could be the instant when fear disappears and all we see is the light. As we come together, sisters and brothers, take a stand for love. We're gonna let it shine, alright. Let's light up the night and let it shine. You and I, oh no, we're gonna let it shine. Hey yes, you've got the love, you've got the light, and let it shine. You and I, we're gonna let the world know that there's more to give when we open up our hearts and set them free. 'Cause we let it go of the dark stories we believe, and we realize there's more to you and me. Yeah, I'm gonna let it shine, alright. Let's light up the night. Let it shine, you and I. Oh no, we're gonna let it shine. Hey yeah, you've got the love, you've got the light. Let it shine, you and I. We're gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We're gonna let it shine. Oh.
Thank you again, John Stringer, for joining us today and for being such a blessing. You can check out John's offerings on his website at johnstringerinc.com. A few closing announcements today. Don't forget Monday practice with Reverend Jorge every Monday evening, 30 minutes, 6:30 to 7. Maybe work on that deeper alignment and expansion we heard about today. You can join on Facebook Live and YouTube. Community Connection meeting with Dr. Sherry, that's every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. And this Tuesday, they're going to work on life's purpose visioning. Find out what your life's purpose is, if you haven't already. The Ernest Holmes Book Study, facilitated by Reverend Mary Jane Hyde. It's a drop-in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. We just started the book yesterday. It's Ernest Holmes' Know Yourself. Fabulous time together for greater expansion and understanding of who you are. Always several opportunities for prayer. Our practitioners are here to serve you and to be spiritual partners on your journey and in your growth. There's the Zoom prayer room immediately following service. You will need to click on a different link. That link is in the comments. It's on Facebook and on YouTube. Practitioners are also on call throughout the week. Check the contact information in the comments or on the church's website. They're all listed there, and how you may contact them directly for prayer at any time. If you'd like to submit a written prayer request, you can do so at prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. Don't forget Zoom fellowship with our dear practitioner, Jeannie Sovereigns, immediately following service today. The Zoom link is in the comment section. And if you are already in this Zoom room, stay where you are and you'll automatically be connected. Don't forget the community prayer. Use the treatment for supply. It is on page 262 of the Science of Mind textbook. Most importantly, please continue to connect with each other. A phone call, a text, just reaching out, letting someone know that they're being thought of and loved on means a lot. Thank you for joining us today. Reverend Sherry will be back with us next Sunday. Now, our closing song, I Release and I Let Go.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm all